Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's reading is going to be how compatible are you in bed? What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at both yours and their personality types to begin with, their needs, their desires, their lead up possibly, and what you're both going to give and get and how it will come together. You have got three choices. You've got the tiger for number 1, you have got the deer for number 2, and the hare for number 3. So if you want to take your choice, and then we'll get stuck in.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay. Pile number 1, I'm just going to start talking with what I can see at the moment. So it's going to begin with your, where you're both coming from really, what your needs, your wants and your desires will develop, but this is just the initial sort of, I suppose, visual impact I'm getting. Your person's coming across as the 7 of Air and Mercury. So the 7 of Air is somebody who takes a different take on something, to what I'm thinking with regards to sex or what this person's like in bed. They probably don't want to be doing the tried and tested. With Mercury there's a nervousness, there's an inquisitiveness there. I'm going to be really honest and probably a bit brutal with people that I know who have not people from being young, I suppose. Obviously I'm not going to say names, but there was once I had a best friend who was going out with a bodybuilder type guy. He was a bodybuilder, not he's a type guy. He was that type of guy. And she was a lot younger than him and he had made a big impression on her. I feel like I'm going into very personal stories, and I haven't done this from the very beginning because it felt more chatty because we had more time. But I think it's quite nice sometimes to give a little bit of a backdrop. And he was experienced, to say the least. He was incredibly interested in sex. He was like Libra, Scorpio, had lots of different girlfriends, and in different scenarios, situations, different amount of people, that type of thing. It was something he was incredibly interested in. And I suppose the other Scorpio Libra guy I knew was also very similar. He used to sleep with a lot of prostitutes anyway. And he used to put her on the spot. She was Aries, so she was very open with her sexuality, not shy at all. So she used to as well try and please him because of the age difference. And then he would not berate her, but he was all like, you could do better than that. She loved the play of it all. She was she married him in the end. They've got 3 kids. But this is what this feels like with the 7 for Air and the Mercury. It feels like not so much the harshness of putting you into a position where you've got to prove yourself. I don't feel that, but there's something that's slightly, they could put a twist on something. They could try something different, that if you are quite secure in your sexuality or you're more open to experience than being loved, you will really enjoy it. But if you are looking for tender, you're looking for consistent, you may wonder what's going on. You may not see it initially, but this person has what I would say the 7 of Air and Mercury together, the inquisitiveness and probably a unique or different approach may have an Aquarius feel about them, where they need mental stimulation, something different to keep this alive. So I know this is your first experience, but if you could put a twist on this, that may be slightly impressive to them, but that's up to you. You've also got down here with what are they bringing to the party? So considerations probably, and you've got the Judgment and the 10 of Swords. So I'm here thinking this man or this woman with the Mother of Cups likes an intense connection. Because the Judgment and the 10 of Swords is like from one world to the next. And I know they talk about like orgasms being like, little deaths. This is, it's almost like a spiritual, emotional approach to the actual, physical act of when you're actually, I think it was, are you in bed? I'm assuming you're in bed, but you don't have to be. So this is an interesting power with regards to them. I'm getting I have to almost relay it to astrology in my head. So I'm thinking an air exterior, possibly Aquarius feel, Gemini feel, doesn't have to be, but with a plutonic twist in it where they want depth when the actual experience gets moving. Even though it's like curious, 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 I'm in the centre of it, I'm in the middle of it, oh my lord. That probably I could relate this to childbirth. Because yeah, I know this is a strange thing to say, but when you're having kids, it's like you're so close to death. No, don't take this the wrong way if you haven't had kids, but mine was quite an experience, and I was sat in these feelings here. It was, oh my lord, I could not be here. This is not normal birth, but it was very, and I was fascinated by all this feeling and this feeling together. I can remember looking at the ceiling thinking, this is a big deal. It was a different look on life in general within those seconds, which stopped and made me think, and I was almost outside myself. That is how I think your person approaches sex. Maybe not, but that's what I've got there. Anyway, you've got the Ten of Earth and Juno, which is a different sort of, it's a very faithful approach, it's a very committed approach, it's a very responsible approach, and it's not emotional, to be honest, to me. It's you've made your choice, you're going forward with it, and you're going to make sure that it's good, that type of feeling. Not serious, but every day, this is what it is. No questions asked. Let's just get moving and let's make a really good connection, I guess, is the way that you approach sex. The Universe and the Justice card, then again, they're big cards to have with regards to considerations early on. The Universe card and the Justice card to me would be, it's similar to this feel here. It's almost like you're looking from outside yourself, and with these cards above here, it's like you want Justice reminds you of marriage, which goes with the Juno card here. The Universe makes me think big, as in the Judgment and the World card there. To be honest, you could have been married with the Universe being the end of the major arcana, and the Justice card here. You could have had a past partnership, because this is past considerations as well, that has made an impact on you. But you've got the Five of Swords here, where you feel that somebody may have got one up. So you could have been cheated on. So you're coming to this, what feel like a really genuine, committed approach, but there may be a heaviness with the Ten of Earth and these two cards behind you, where you are asking questions to yourself. You're this person wouldn't sense it, but you are. To me, it feels like, don't betray me, to be honest, with these cards here. Because endings, marriage, and the Five of Swords, with a spider with his legs pulled off here, is a big issue in your life, a big deal, a commitment in your life with a Juno card there, that in some way you may have feel as if you were left behind, somebody moved on, that type of feeling. So there's a real change here between the pair of you with regards to your basic personalities and how you're actually coming into the physical situation. It's like you're straightforward in the way that you are what you are. There's like, you don't need to talk a lot, you don't need to explain yourself. There's a feeling at ease with your body here. They're different. They're coming up from what I would guess is a more higher up cerebral place, where they're inquisitive and questioning and want to know and wondering what's going to happen next. And they feel that they could take it wherever they want to take it. But then when it starts moving, it's as if you both get into what I would guess seriousness. They have a plutonic feel deep down in there, which makes me feel that they're more at home when they get going than you would expect from this feel here. You have a feeling of very similar, but you're more coming from a place of experience, I guess, with these cards here, but also a slight hurt. You don't want to be hurt because you're giving of yourself in some way. Both ways. It always goes both ways, hopefully. Right, let's keep going. Okay. Okay. Okay, going back to your person, there's with the star card here, and I'm looking for like needs and desires. The star card there with this feeling at the top, there's it feels like a spiritual connection. This person needs to feel connected to you, needs to feel that they could talk to you afterwards. But the Five of Cups with regards to desires as well, they don't want to be tied down, which is going with this feeling here. You know, this very possibly could be somebody who is not in a negative way, but is quick to get up and out in the morning, or quick to get up and if it is bed, you know, or quick... doesn't need to be held afterwards, doesn't need to be loved afterwards, doesn't need it to be cozy and snuggly afterwards, is more interested in whether there's a connection in the moment with the star here. There's a lot of feeling of them wanting to watch or to see or to experience visually the whole experience. And because you're coming across here with a lady taking the shower and the man coming in, doesn't, you know, switch the sex. The same card over here, and I'm looking for their needs and desires. There's a man watching a woman, and then you've got the Four of Swords here. It doesn't have to be man or woman, where to me it feels like laid back. And the Son of Pentacles to me makes me feel at ease with the body. So I would guess the compatibility here would come in the fact that they like to watch and you like to show off in a nice way, in a sort of not afraid is the wrong word, not ashamed. There's a lot of shame to do with sex, and I think, you know, so many people, even people that are easygoing with it, you know, it's imprinted for, you know, generations and generations. This has the feeling that there's no place for that in this relationship, and that is where you're compatible. This person has an aesthetic, is that the word? View of sex. They like to see what's going on. They find bodies beautiful, you know, and it could be any particular way. It does. I don't know, actually. I'm looking at it from a lady's point of view, which, to be honest, no, that's wrong, actually. I've got a lot of women who actually think the opposite to me. I think I think men can often be more visually turned on the women, but actually not all the time. I have got lots of what I would say very straightforward girlfriends who don't need the cuddles, don't need what we probably have been led to believe is what a woman wants, and just like it as it is. So that was wrong of me. So I'm going to carry on. What I've got so far with regards to how your person approaches sex compared to you, your person likes a different way to approach things. They like to be stimulated visually and mentally. When your person is actually in the act, they lead a lot of lead up with regards to what they can see with your body. This is not hiding under the covers. The person, I think here, with the Judgment card and the Ten of Swords, likes to be engrossed, and likes, with the Star card as well, likes sex to take them to a different world. When they're in it, they can almost get out of their mind, which is difficult for somebody with Mercury when it comes. They're not particularly sexual sign, Mercury. But this person may have like strong Pluto or something where they can actually, once it gets going, change the outer exterior into something that feels more intense and more sensual. There is definitely a strong visual component here. There's also a feeling that this person, not to be insulted if they don't stay around afterwards. You're coming across as being very, I guess with all the Pentacle cards here, very open with your body, very much matter of fact with regards to, you know, sexual contact. This is like reading by your mum into sexual contact, but also there's that strong feeling here that sex can take you out of yourself with the Universe and the Justice card, but also maybe a slight fear with regards to being mistreated, or this is where the Five of Cups with the Five of Swords is probably where you may be incompatible. You may take their normal Mercury or air feeling of getting up and leaving, you know, with a quick kiss as insulting, because there's and I would say here not to take it too personally. But with the Five of Swords here and the two watching cards, there's a lot to be had in this encounter with regards to showing off your body and your person, letting your person see you without being being at ease with it, I think. To me, I'm thinking in my head, which may be totally wrong, is like low lighting, you know, something quite visually pleasing. You might be thinking, in the doctor's gynecologist switched the lighting full on, but to me, and George Michael said that, he said, and he had cancer in him, didn't he? He was like, I always feel more like things when the lighting's a bit dim. So there is that feeling here that that could play a part, but that's, that's between you two. Right, let me just put a few more cards out. I'm going to move these over here. Right, it feels like initially you're going to have to lead this person down the track. You're going to be the one that is going to have to take the initiative, because I'm wondering with the Seven of Air and the Mercury, which basically stopped me at the beginning, that this person may not feel at ease taking that jump from the normal world into a more intimate world. Yeah, I think that they may be quite nervous, to be honest, to begin with. But once they get going, it's like there's a big switch turns on. And that's when you probably start connecting with this person. And the last cards are, okay, let's go with these ones. Let me move these across here. Okay, where you are compatible in this relationship, I think, is the fact that this is what it feels like. It feels like a train journey where you get on and you're both quite different to begin with. Your person's more chatty and playful and a little bit spiky. You're more relaxed and you're sat there listening. When the middle of the train journey, when it gets to the sexual part, it's like you're both together in it. You're both extremely compatible. There's a need to find another self in this situation. It's almost like a release in some way where you both open up. How would I say this is? It's like you forget who you are during while you're in. I mean, the question is in bed together, so the compatibility is there. With, to be honest, you both have what I guess a raw sexuality once it gets moving. You more so, the flow is easier, and that's why you probably have to take the initiative here. The spiritual connection with the Mercury and the Star card is coming more from your person. Your person's looking for, have I met you before? Do you feel familiar type of, easy thing, which to me from experience is like a moon connection, and that's probably what they like, is that moon connection here. Where you are compatible is the Mother of Wands. It feels like you both actually, and this doesn't account for everybody in the world, both actually enjoy sex, and the sex will be good from what I can see here. The Daughter of Cups to me is like the sweet connection, which is coming from different places from each side. This sweet connection with you is coming from them with regards to feeling a spiritual bond with you, which you're coming from a more practical viewpoint where you actually feel that probably security with this person, that this person isn't going to give you the Five of Swords at the end. But be careful, because you may actually feel that when they get up and leave early, that you could take that as an insult, but I don't actually think it is at all. There's a strong feeling here of long foreplay because of the watching cards here. As if this person is what I would say with a good lover, because they've thought about it. It's not all wham bam, and that Five of Cups isn't I've finished, I'm off. It's like we've had it, we've had this experience together. It's been a slow burner. I've enjoyed it. There's a spiritual connection, and it's time to go. That's fine. You're coming from here with regards to why you feel it's compatible is that you feel an intense connection while you are actually together. The sex to me feels like strong. It doesn't feel fumbly. It feels as if it feels quite intense and straightforward. An enjoyment of what they can see. This person is strong in this pile. So to me, the feeling inside myself is that you're different people who are sexually compatible. There's an intensity that you're both looking for. You will enjoy their need for spiritual connection, but yours is more like an earthy connection of just feeling it here and now rather than questioning, which they're doing like, oh my gosh, this feels so familiar, like deja vu type of feeling, and you're like, I really like you type of feeling, straightforward. So I would say compatible. More so when the train's in the middle journey. At the end journey, this person gets off a stop too early, and don't take that person, is probably what I'm thinking here. You, again, are the one. If the beginning of the train journey analogy, you're the one making the conversation. You're going to be the one that's initiating. This person finds the jump from normal reality into intimacy difficult. But your person also has what I would say an extremely powerful, intense sex drive. To me, it feels like they're good at what they do. They're good at the lead up, they're good at the timing, they're good at the intensity, and you are good at accepting it, if you know what I mean. You're good at just being yourself and getting into the moment. So that's what I've got, pile. Not what I expected. Far more subdued than expected. But that's what I've got, pile number 1. So I don't know if that feels right to you. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. As I said, it's not what I expected, but interesting to me, maybe only, but I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you like the readings, please subscribe and comment. It's always nice to hear your comments. And hit the like button. That's the little things that YouTube make things go further. Okay, thank you very much. Bye. Okay, pile number 2. I'm going to start here. There's a feeling that you're quite different. Pile number 1 had a similar feeling. I'll go with you first. You're coming across as a daughter of air and Psyche here. To me, I think that you're incredibly good at reading people here. Let me pull this a bit over here. The daughter of air, especially the look on this little girl's face, makes me think that you're quite cheeky, that you're the type of person with Psyche. Not only are you good at reading people, but you like to make observations and probably laugh a lot with friends, maybe even make fun out of it. It's making me think of somebody young. Sexual moments, intimate moments where you may be good at relaying them to friends with putting a twist on it to make them laugh. So that is the feeling that I'm getting here. Now, also as well with the Psyche, because you can read people, there may also be, not too much here because it's air and not water, a feeling of want to please people because you've got the 8 of Pentacles down here. So I'm dealing these thinking, hey, she's going to get busy or he's going to get busy. As in like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to please this person. And then you've got the Son of Wands. You're probably very good at it. You're probably quite a passionate person once you get moving. But the Father of Pentacles at the moment matches the Son of Earth over this side. So there's some compatibility here at the moment that I can see already. Now, your person comes across as quite different. They've got the Son of Air and Ceres. So this is somebody who takes themselves quite seriously in some ways, would not like to be laughed at. To them, they like to... there's like a gentleness about them. There's a natural feeling about the way that they approach sex. And there's the Ceres there is a very sort of sweet need to nurture and to be nurtured, to be close to somebody. This is somebody who doesn't mind close faces. You know, that type of... I went to the cinema at the weekend. Absolutely beautiful. It was 38 degrees. It was outside an amphitheatre. There was 2 people in front of me. I could still see the screen, but there was 2 people in front of me, and for the first half hour they took selfies of each other, themselves together and each other. So I'm sat watching that, and there's people speaking on stage before it starts. I'm like, okay, and they were happy, so I was like, okay, just leave them. And then the guy's face was here, so you know he's half looking at in front at there, and this girl was like that, but she just looked at him, which must have been for about 45 minutes, and kissed him continually. This is what this feels like. And to me, I was waiting for him. She's going to get twitchy, but he didn't. He just sat, and she's kissing his neck and she's kissing his face. That this has this feeling. There's like somebody who was brought up with mum holding them, or, you know, kissing dad, very natural, doesn't mind. And I think when you go abroad, very different from, this is like putting people into stereotypes, which is incredibly dodgy ground. But there's such a naturalness between, that's not a word, foreign people in Italy, I'm thinking here, and the way that they touch each other compared to how a lot of us, maybe, I know I'm on dodgy ground, please don't tell me off, been brought up here. The reason I'm saying that and give an explanation is this guy coming up and saying, oh, the Italians are so lovely. Girls having dinner, and this guy comes up, only young, I would guess 17, 18. I don't even think it was his girlfriend from the way that things were moving, but I'm not definite. And he grabs her by the head, pulls her towards, so like, you know, behind the ears sort of, and pulls and gives her a kiss. It's not too long, but it was just like, we just don't do that here. We're just so controlled. Imagine if I went up to somebody in Starbucks, you know, a friend from school, and grabbed them behind the head. I think they'd just be dumbstruck. Your person has that feeling of being at home, being gently confident in their sexuality, wanting to do things that make you feel that they care. They just do it naturally anyway. So that's what I'm trying to say. Now, with regards to the considerations I need to think of before it actually gets into a more physical position is the Fortune and the Sun card. So this person is happy in themselves. This person comes from a good place where they don't feel, this changes in a minute, genuinely, because these are my major arcana, the centre one isn't, they don't feel that life's going to trip them up. You know, it's natural to be able to show love, Suarez. It's natural to care. It's natural to attach. Bodies are natural. There's nothing, you know, shameful is the word I used in the last reading, which, you know, shame in a lot of countries, it's not just Britain, it's part and parcel of sex. You know, we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of years behind us to shake that off. So, yeah, okay. So what I've got so far with regards to where you're both coming from before it moves is openness. Three of Swords. This is the bit when I put these out. The fact that you're coming out the daughter of air and Psyche, this person would not take lightly with this feel if you laughed in the middle of it. That would not go down well. You laugh in the middle of sex with a Jupiter type person, absolutely fantastic. It's like, hey, but you laugh in the middle of an intimate encounter with this type of person, they would be hurt. So don't do that. But the Father of Pentacles here, I like this because it fits in with this feeling of there is, because you've got two pentacle cards in the Son of Wands, so I think sexuality is something that is actually you've either got experience or you're quite at ease with it, even though with this feeling here there's still, it's difficult, isn't it? It's a bit similar to the last pile. It feels that through maybe experience, maybe just general disposition. I explained this in the last pile because it had a similar feeling up top of being very much in your head, very much thinking, very much trying to process a lot. And I said the jump into this next pile can be quite different, difficult for some, but not for you. It feels like when things get moving, you're at ease with it for whatever reason, whether it is experience or whether it just is, in astrology, a placement of a planet somewhere else that allows you to adapt, you know, a Venus or Mars that's in a fire sign or an earth sign. It takes you out of that air thinking, which, you know, you don't need to be thinking too much when you're actually, when it actually, things start moving. So what I've got so far, which is looking at the compatibility, ease with your person, a genuine, kind, nice, open person that would not take to be laughed at. Somebody who can love easily and give easily. And this is somebody who probably wants to make you feel good. Somebody who's going to be able to touch you in a way that makes you feel cared for. And it feels like you both work hard. You work hard because you can read them and you know what they want. They work hard because it's part of their personality. This person isn't self-conscious with all these cards here. you know, the Fortune card and the Sun card and the Earth card and Ceres card. You could start off initially being quite self-conscious, but when things start moving, you lose it. So that's what I've got so far. Let me keep going. Oh my Lord, okay. Hold on. Okay, this is more of a, what I would say, kinky is the wrong word, pile, than I expected, because the first one was quite subdued here, but there's a feeling here that you've both got wants and desires that I don't know whether you hide them from yourself or whether you're quite at home with it. But with the Hermit and the Empress card for your person's wants and desires, so this is where I'm trying to work out how compatible you are. You've got the Hermit, and you've also got down here a lady on her own. Now with this Venus feeling in the Hermit card, my mind with and the way that these cards are on their own is flicking to to Taurus. Oh my gosh, what's his name? What's the guy who plays The Witcher? And this is who I'm really sorry. Is it not Daniel? It's Henry. Things that I'm told that never quite get out of my mind, or things that I've read. The Taurus people, there is, because it's feminine and because it's quite earthy and because you've got these Hermit cards with the Empress, this is somebody who may actually like to masturbate in front of you. Oh, that's just, I'm going to leave that there. I'll explain how I've got this again. That Taurus feeling it's like self-pleasure is very much at the forefront with regards to how Taurus sees it. There's like a, yeah, it is. It's very sensual, very sexual, and very much self-indulgent is probably the words that I'm looking for here. And this person isn't afraid to do that. So I don't know how you feel about that. You may be thinking that's fantastic. You may be thinking how rude. I don't know. You're coming across here as a 5 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. So to me, I'm thinking you've both got different ideas. Oh my God, you could put these two together, but this might be an 18 plus reading. Because the 8 of Swords here and the Father of Wands, not shy. You know, wants and desires are quite upfront, quite strong. You're not going to hold back if you want to in some way make the best of the situation here. And the 8 of Swords, to me, feels like in some way bondage, tied up, or feeling subjugated. What is that word? Feeling, I'm going to say tied up because I don't really know, but there's different ways you can use in your head where it's almost as if it gets, you know, there's like clinical moments. There's like clinical moments when you're intimate with somebody where things have to be done possibly. And I'm just thinking, you know, my kids in school at the moment where they, and I think this is fantastic. You know, in school when we were growing up, it was like laugh, giggle, don't talk about it. But the kids in school, they have to put condoms on false penises. And I just think, why on earth didn't we do that? And they do it with blindfolded as well. This has got this feeling as if it goes out of a moment into something quite clinical, which could be, you know, if this is bondage, it's actually tying somebody up, which I'm assuming here, but I may be wrong as my experience isn't quite as wide as it should be. That moment of taking that outside, an intimate moment, and moving to go out, you know, to the drawer outside and get out your belts and your whatever and your handcuffs. There's got to be a where it's sort of moved apart, you know, you sort of come out of the moment. That has got this feeling there because there's a man walking down what looks like a hospital in a clinical uniform here. You've got the 8 of Swords, which to me is tied up or bound up, and I'm interpreting that more because of the Father of Wands here as part and parcel of an act, because the Father of Wands is straightforward with wants and desires. So you may actually enjoy being, what's the word? The clinical bit is actually where I'm thinking you could be using something, but it doesn't have to be. It could be that you just enjoy somebody who's a strong lover, I suppose. Somebody who takes the lead in lots of different ways. This person's busy with themselves. You're not going to get that. But okay, I'm just going to go over what I've got so far so I can start thinking about the compatibility so far. Your person's straightforward in sex. They like to care. They're very natural with regards to the sexual act. Very open, as I said. But there's a feeling here that they're quite sensual with regards to themselves. That ease with other people is also, I would guess, translated to an ease with themselves and how they pleasure themselves. Yeah. And then over here you've got the daughter of air and psyche. You're very good at reading what people want. You're probably very good at giving time to the other person, knowing what they want and making them feel good here. And you've got the 2 Wands cards twice, so you're not shy. You're not you've got a strong love nature and you're very open to express it. To be honest, there's a feeling as it starts moving that, you know, the Wands cards here, Aries, Sagittarius and Leo, they are not, out of all the cards, they're the ones most likely to take their clothes off quickly without feeling any sense of, not that they should, any sense of, I'm saying this because I read a fantastic book once, and this guy was saying that he discovered that those signs were the ones that didn't feel any shame with their bodies. Yeah, in that way, that when he had girlfriends, they would just whip their clothes off. So I think here with regards to you, you're straightforward. You're more passionate, I think. Your person's more naturally open, as in it's part and parcel of everyday life. Anyway, let me keep going. There is that feeling that this person, which I don't know whether you like, is self-indulgent with regards to sex. You probably are looking for somebody who's strong, somebody who's going to take the lead to be able to match your energy here with these 1 cards here. So I'm thinking here an incompatibility might creep in where your person is more self-absorbent, sensually self-absorbent, and you are more, I want a strong lover rather than a sensual person who's into themselves. Let me keep going. Oh, bless. Okay. This is what I feel from them. Bless. I'm talking about bless and how compatible you are in bed. You're ending up with the Mother of Wands and the 2 of Cups. I think that your person, not from the fact that they can read you as well as you can read them, but more from the fact that they are happy in themselves and they're just open, and it was almost like they learn to be more like you. And I remember having a cousin who had a very funny boyfriend, but she said to me, she was Taurus. She said that she was Taurus Sagittarius. Yeah. She said that she had to teach him how to kiss and how to dress. It feels like this person is quite open to you leading the way. So I think that you may have to lead the way in some way, because this person feels a little bit involved in themselves. I get this feeling of being enveloped in, and it feels almost like dough. And they're in themselves in dough, and it's soft and it's mushy, but they're happy. It's like it eventually blossoms into some sort of bread that tastes good, but you have to almost like pull that, you have to make that yourself. There's a feeling here this person matches you with the strength that you possibly need when it gets a little bit more intimate in bed, because they're coming across, you're both coming across as the Mother of Wands and the 2 of Cups, which is a connection where you connect on the same level. There's also a feeling here as well that the first experience may not be the best. Your first sexual contact, and it could even be the same night, the same day. I'm thinking bed night. The first one may be a little bit, you're both coming from different corners of the ring, but it feels like you dance together afterwards with the Mother of Wands and the 2 of Cups. And then it feels as if it gets more passionate. It feels like you get more of what you want in the afterglow, aftermath, after whatever, after the first incident. The Sun of Fortune there. So that is, that is fire. This person may be able to pull it out of the hat. Okay, this is what I've got with regards to compatibility, pile number 2. There's a feeling here that you are inquisitive. There's a feeling here that you like to talk about sex with a daughter of air. There's a feeling here that you find it quite amusing in some way, that you've got an interest in it. I can understand that. When I was younger, every encyclopedia, I would go to the sex page and look at the pictures. Same thing. I'd go to my Auntie Pat's caravan when I was like early teens and read all her dirty books. Yeah, it's just that sort of airy feeling of wanting to know. But your psyche there, you're good at reading people and what they want. But what you want, I think, is passion. You want somebody, you're prepared to put the effort into to a sexual encounter, to an intimate moments, to being in bed together, because that's what the question is. And when it gets moving, you're not ashamed of your body. There's a feeling of being at ease. There's a feeling of wanting it to be passionate. There's a feeling of being alive in you, of wanting sex to be expressed in a way that is immediate, vocal possibly, visual definitely. There's a feeling here that you may want to be dominated, is probably what I was looking for earlier, because the Eight of Swords next to the fire, and you were not scared to say that. This person is just as good at pleasing as you, but not quite as you need to tell them. You pick it up, you need to tell them. This person's happy in themselves. They're happy expressing themselves. They're content in their body. There's not really that many hiccups with regard to sexuality, apart from I think that this person would not like to be laughed at, which I said earlier. This person may come from a more sensual viewpoint initially, and then you pull them along. And I guess the compatibility comes here is a fact that you can both meet each other on an even ground after almost what I would say is not delegating. What's the word when you chat with each other so that you both know you're on the same track? It's like discussing. It would be sensual discussing of what you both want. And this person then comes over to your camp, which I feel is more sexy. Theirs is more sensual. It's like you pull them out of themselves. The compatibility, which are these two cards here, is good. It's straightforward, it's passionate, and there's a connection there. There's a feeling here that you have good sex where you're looking into each other's eyes there with the Two of Cups. Connection, and it... I can't think of a really polite word because my son's got to edit these. Hello, darling. I would say with the Mother of Wands there that... I'm going to have to leave it passionate. I can't think of the word. Where you're in the moment rather than thinking. Okay. Right, my dog needs a wee, so I'm going to have to wrap this up, pile number 2. I would say here very compatible with what I guess is a bit of... feeling each other to begin with, feeling what the other wants and what you want. They come over to your camp from a camp which I think is a little bit self-indulgent over here, but that's fine. You may get a mixture, I didn't like to say this initially, of you probably liking a strong bond, a more dominant figure, and them actually being quite self-indulgent. You can picture that in your head yourself because I'm not explaining that one. But to me, strong compatibility that grows. So that's what I've got for pile number 2. I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to let my dog out for a wee and see you again. If you like the readings, please please subscribe and check out Patreon if you do fancy that too. Okay, bye. Okay, pile number 3. I'm just going to start talking. I can feel more about your person than you at the moment, but hopefully it will come to me as I get there. Your person's coming across as the 6 of air and Neptune. You're coming across as the 6 of water and Jupiter. What I'm thinking is, with regards to compatibility, right from the off start, is that you're both givers, you're both kind-natured, think of others, big ideas. Jupiter and Neptune together, what two planets can you think of that that have the right idea with regards to giving. It's not just about immediate giving, with people that they love. It's normally the larger picture. So to me, I think that you've both got big minds. You both, you have what I would guess is more of an emotional way of giving, that you possibly do naturally gravitate towards people that you know well, but it does not just that with the Jupiter next to it. The Six of Earth and Neptune here, your person probably gives in a way that they show that they're caring by actually doing things. Now, with regards to these cards here, which is more of an approach, where are they coming from as a person? You got the Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands, and because of the cards, it makes me feel that this person needs what I guess is a bit of this isn't so much physically, but a bit of friction. There's like electricity. There's two logs. What are they? Sticks rubbing together. So your person may need a bit of friction, and the Judgment card here is, I'm thinking hard to please, to be honest. With the Judgment card and those two cards there, this person has high expectations. That's what I was thinking when I put the cards down. High expectations with regards to a partner. They're giving, they're open, they care for people, but it's like they let only doesn't go in Neptune this, but lots of friends, but to have somebody intimate is a big deal to them. And they have to basically, it feels almost like a Virgo feeling, they have to match up. But the Judgment card there could be a more Scorpionic feeling of they don't share themselves with everybody in intimate moments. Neptune, everything else is up for grabs. The Daughter of Pentacles here, now the Six of Cups and the Temperance card. The Temperance card I would associate with the Jupiter there, so it gives you even more of a Jupiterian feel. I love this card as well, and actually I don't love the illustration, but I do, because you can feel it. There's a feeling here of transcendence with the Judgment here. You've got here this little, not polywog, pure chrysalis, is it turning into the moth? And then you've got here with the Temperance card with the third eye and the wings. There's almost like you want to move into a different place. Okay, this to me, I guess, is the compatibility, as I'm going through it slowly, I'm talking myself through this, has a spiritual component to it, where you almost want to, when you're both together or you're both looking for something, it's got to have what I guess is a spiritual connection feel to it. And you're looking for that sort of South Node feel of familiarity. And they're looking for the North Node feel of friction. Is probably how I would have to put that into my head. You're prepared to wait. You're prepared to move slowly and let it unravel. This person here is looking for a oomph moment. Okay, not sure what that means to me as yet, but that's what I've got with regards to what you both bring into the situation before it gets more intimate. Givers, you're very caring. You've got a good mind that wants to, it's just like a searching pile, as if you want to know more, and through having a physical contact with somebody, you're going to be able to understand something about yourself more possibly. You may not even feel that or know that, but there's something in being intimate with somebody brings you out of yourself, and what I guess is into what you feel is like a higher, I don't know, vibration realm. I don't know what there, but that's, yeah, okay. Your person needs friction and almost a feeling like being reborn. That's what you're coming to this pile with. So you're both a searching pile, you're both a giving pile. I'm going to carry on. Let me keep going. Okay, your person's coming out as very interesting with regards to their needs and desires. So this is moving on more from how they are as a person, which to me feels that they are interested in life in general. Generally, probably have lots of friends around them, very easygoing. But when it comes to a physical contact, when it comes to sexuality, your person's searching for something outside themselves and outside of normal mundane world. They don't need much, which sounds strange. The Neptune card and the Four of Cups, and this is like their need pile. What do they actually need? So what are they looking for when they get to it? They don't need anything from anybody, which with your Jupiterian feeling here, you know, it has that feeling that you're both almost otherworldly in some sense, that you both don't really need that much anyway. But the Devil card here matches your Jupiterian card. This is making them feel more Jupiterian to me, is when it comes to sexual contact, they get, or sexual, a connection. They've got a really high sex drive. And you're coming across here as a Son of Pentacles as well, which makes me think that, you know, with your needs is, you know, Pentacles have a very sort of natural, strong sex drive too. And the Ace of Pentacles here. So to me at the moment, I'm feeling that compatibility is going to come more into play when it gets physical. This feels like two people that don't particularly need a lot from other people, content in the world, content in themselves, like to understand what your person may not feel the same, but they may do it naturally. How to have a spiritual connection with other people, helping people along in a big way. They think in terms of groups. You may think in terms of groups. Your person's looking for some sort of ultimate experience through sexuality, and they're very much driven by their own sex drive here. You won't sense that until the ball gets rolling, I don't think. You would think they were just easygoing. But to be honest with this type of person, you sense it in the way that they move, the way that they look, and the way that they are just at home. It's almost like an X Factor type of feeling. You know, when you get like people on stage who appeal to an audience and there's something sexual about them, which is part and parcel of, you know, like music, especially when you're young, it's in a package and like 90% of it is sex appeal. Your person has that in, or I would say bucketful, because they don't need things. When they're talking to people, when they walk into a room, they're not looking to see who's looking at them. It feels like it's quite natural. But there's something in, and I always think the way people move, the way that they dance in some cases, the way that they choose their clothes and they fit their clothes has a sense of ease, and it's almost like containing a tiger inside a plastic bag. This feeling, I made that up, inside a plastic bag. You have a familiarity with that energy already, to me, with the Jupiter here and the Jupiter here. You have an ease of contact with yourself that is not quite driven by sexual fulfillment, but more by just expression, I guess, with the Ace of Pentacles and Son of Pentacles here. Interesting combination. But to me at the moment, I'm going to see what the next cards are. To me, you two are like two peas from a pod, but there's a slight twist with regards to what I think is more natural, more emotional needs from you, not to a high degree, but from them it's more like this person may be very interested in sex in different ways that I may not know about. You know, more like not tantric. I'm not thinking of that, but it's darker, I would guess, than that. It's something that is, they use sexuality with the occult, and I don't really know about this, to almost come out of themselves. And just flashed through my mind there, not so much occult, but Michael Hutchins, when he was found, you know, I had all Paula Yates pictures, and I don't know, maybe more, you know, like mags around, and that he strangled himself. There's something, this person's quite on the edge. There's a dark, inquisitive edge about your person. Scorpionic, I would guess here. It's like feeling, which I guess they indulge with a Neptune there. Oh. Wow. Okay, what I'm thinking, you've got burnt matches here. It looks like that. You have got the Son of Cups, and I'm saying here you're coming across as the Six of Water twice. So I'm thinking you're embodying the Cups feeling here, where you're looking for an emotional connection. It's all about you here. You've got the Mother of Pentacles, which is more you, because you've got 1, 2, 3 Pentacle cards with regards to when things get moving. You're very easy, your body. Now your person is coming from what I guess is a more intense. You won't, I don't think you sense this, but there's an intensity with regards to their sex drive, that they're looking for some. It feels like you can almost not fulfill it, to be honest here. It feels like, I'll be totally honest with you, and I don't like giving readings which, you know, aren't totally positive, because it's, you know, it's just, you know, it's a reading. There's lots of you watching, but there could be a slight possibility that your person pushes you outside your comfort zone in some way when it comes to, so let me put some more cards out. There is a feeling there of that, because this is intense. This is like rubbing. This is electric. The Devil card is coming up for their needs. You're coming across as very earthy, very natural. You know, sex is sex. Let's get on with it type of feeling. And they're coming from, let's just push. Let's just see how far this can go. And the Neptune card, you know, you could be thinking, oh wow, to be totally honest, drugs. There's loads of different ways that could push people. There's this person's looking for an experience that changes them. You're looking for a connection that takes you outside yourself in a different way. It allows you in a more of a spiritual connection. They're looking for what feels like somebody who, you may like this or not, I don't know. It feels scorpionic. The only other, I'm thinking, girlfriends that I know who have talked about their boyfriends like this have had Scorpio boyfriends. And the examples I gave in Power 1 was Scorpio boyfriends. I can give those examples again, which if it helps, it will. Yeah. I feel that your person's going to take the lead sexually. They may actually, I'm not going to give examples because I'm going to say it in these words now really, may take the lead sexually in a way that pushes you slightly outside your comfort zone. You may find it exciting, but you may also feel as if it's not natural in some way, because you're coming across as the Pentacle cards here. The Mother of Pentacles and the Son of Cups, you're looking for more emotional fulfillment. Your partner is looking for what I guess is a giver. You're connected to each other because you're both very similar. You both give in life in general, but when your person's got a raw sexuality, I think that may excite you, but may also leave you thinking, well, what about me? Where do I fit into that? It's almost like, you know, you could have anybody in that moment because this person feels like they're highly sexed. And you may be wondering, with the Six of Cups twice, where were you actually aware I was there? Fantastic sex, compatible definitely in that point of view, that it, you know, a good time is to be had by both parties, if not with this pile here, all parties. But you could be left feeling that it took you outside your comfort zone. This is a general reading. You know, you can move this a little bit yourself to apply to it. This person, there could be an age gap that makes you feel slightly as if it's out of your comfort zone already. It doesn't have to be as severe as, you know, or as, if you like it, as fantastic as it sounds. There's just something in here with the Devil, the Two of Wands, the Eight of Wands. You interpret them differently because the cards, the Judgment is transformation. They're looking for transformation through sex. You're looking through what seems like a transformation with a more spiritual component with the Jupiter here twice. It's like you want to feel there's more to life, and it takes you out, you know, into that moment there. But it feels with the Pentacle cards and the Cup cards here that you end up thinking, you know, as in, and this little guy at the side, he's on his own. It's like you feel slightly left out. He's an hermit. He's not looking happy. If I could put astrology on this, with regards not looking at the cards, it would be Scorpio, Libra, Plutonic feel to them. Where they're quite sensual, they're highly sexed, they like sex to take them into a different place that feels almost slightly on the edge. You're coming from what I would say a Jupiterian, Cancerian feel with some earth in here, where you're very giving. Both of you are very giving. I don't think but you may actually feel that, well, that was a little bit too much. There is something here, I don't know how to say it, and it may be ever so slight, as I said, with regards to an age difference where your person has more experience than you. Where your person has more experience than you, or your person may be more, may change too much with regards to when you're in bed to how they're out of bed, where you're both very similar, and you'd be like, oh, hold on, what was that? You know, that type of feeling. But compatibility out of bed, spot on. With regards to in bed, it feels like the actual get together, the actual experience is nice. It feels natural. It feels as if there is an emotional connection there still, but I feel there may be one particular incident that may make you feel as if, hold on, you could have done that with anybody. I wasn't there for that moment. Not saying they're thinking that, but that's how you may interpret, because you've got Cancer in here. This person's getting, you know, Pluto and Cancer do actually go together, but there's, you know, to have the Six of Cups twice is, to me, makes me think that you're looking for a softer emotional connection, which you're getting from them when before you get to bed. Okay, let me go with some advice for you here with regards to beforehand, maybe, or how to deal with it. Oh my gosh, that is bad advice. I'm going to put that card there and let you read it so that nobody comes back to me and says, that's bad advice. Okay, I can twist that into a way that doesn't, especially if you're young, you know, perhaps I would try another pile, to be honest. You know, very young, and it's more a case of, is there something with regards to a spiritual connection that you may actually, because you were South Node, weren't you? And this advice here is, okay, sensible advice here. If this feels as if it's going outside your comfort zone, stop it, get out. If you feel that it's something before this actually happens, there's something that you want to experience that feels fine in yourself as a person, this person may stretch you more towards that. But only if you've decided how far you want to go that feels good for you before you get into the whole situation, then you could possibly move more towards what this person may think is okay. But you've got to be incredibly secure in yourself to be able to do that. So my advice to you from that, which is just do it, and I'm not advising that really, is to decide how far you would like to go with this person if you never saw them again, and what would make you happy. If you can think of different scenarios. I'm not saying this person's going to push themselves on you. It doesn't feel like that whatsoever. So I'm not saying that. I just feel that they're going to have more experience, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you know, I haven't done this before, and it feels slightly uncomfortable. So you're going to have to think of that, right? Okay. Before I start summing this up, pile number 3, you know, especially if you're young, so many people have got themselves, people I know, into sexual experiences that have been uncomfortable. So I'm going to say now that that is never right. Nobody should ever push themselves on you. You know what I'm saying here is be careful, and you know, just have incredibly strong boundaries, which you probably an idea to talk about this beforehand, maybe. And now now I've said that, I'm going to go on to summing it all up, you know, assuming that you are that you know this. And this is a compatibility question. I'm sorry, I'm really trying to explain this, because if there's somebody young watching this and your person does come across as experience where you're coming across as looking for something similar but different, more laid back, more easygoing, more looking for a, well, as I said, a spiritual connection. This person is too, but this person pushes. So that's why I'm saying you've got to know, you know, in yourself what is right and wrong, and not to put yourself in a compromising position. So let's go with regards to the question, how compatible are you in bed? Out of bed, there's an ease of contact, there's an openness, there's a generous spirit, there's an ability to want to please other people and give yourselves to others, which is beautiful. You've got, with regards to their sexuality, is strong. It's they're looking for to almost going to another world with regards to how they experience sex. Which may be, depending, you know, that you could actually just be riding on the temperance card here, and that may be fantastic for you. The actual sexual experience feels very natural, feels as if there's an emotional connection, but there's still a heavy push from this person. It could be very straightforward, could be very simplistic, where you just feel they've got more experience. And over here, you, to me, feel like the actual compatibility in bed is easy. It just is... it's not awkward, it's not embarrassing, it's not uncomfortable, it's very easy, maybe too easy. But as I said initially, which I'm gonna, you know, there's a feeling here that you may feel that the connection has a lot, there's a strength coming from them, which is making you possibly feel like you may not have been there for certain seconds in their mind. These cards, they've got this card where they're playing the tune. You've got the card where you're the hermit card, where you're left on your own. They're coming across as strong. The actual connection is nice, it's good, but it feels like you get burnt at the end slightly, where I feel that... do you know what it feels like? I feel like I'm talking too much. I'm going to go in a minute. It feels like somebody who is confident in themselves, in their sexuality, and has a lot of experience, and then you're wondering whether they are like that with everybody, or, you know, the connection is good, the sex is good, the compatibility is good, but you may be left wondering whether, yeah, you weren't there for a particular moment. It feels like they put on a great performance. It feels like the contact is very good. There's an emotional connection, physical connection, but the Ten of Wands and the Hermit, I feel you're slightly burnt afterwards, and it feels that they're too strong. So that's what I've got for pile number 3. Sorry that's taken me so long. I think when I get a slightly dangerous pile, and I'm thinking of, you know, and as I said, it doesn't matter if you're young or whatever, but if you're impressionable, you know, which I think you both are, you know, you're both easygoing with regards to new ideas coming in, that I want to make sure that you look after yourselves, and you're, you know, because there are some, you know, strange people about. Not saying your person's strange, just saying that they've got a strong sex drive, with an edge to them that likes to experience different things. So I'm going to leave it there. Please look after yourselves. If you are young, make sure that you're with, you know, lots of people around, a group of people. Not in that way, but I'm going to leave that there, pile number 1. Definitely compatible in bed. Your person's you both got a stronger sex drive. They feel more experienced than you. Or there's something about them, the way that they're going to express themselves, that may make you feel like, well, I didn't expect that. Okay. All right, I'm going to say goodbye now. All take care of yourself. Make sure you don't get yourself into compromising situations. Yeah, use your common sense. Okay, bye.